One of the major questions I often get from people, especially from beginners, is how many pigs should I start with? How many pigs should I begin my pig farm with? Now, there are so many things that should be considered before you can know how many pigs you should start with. The first one is the amount of knowledge you have. The second one is the resources you have available to you. And of course, the third one is the space and land at your disposal. So these are the major three things. These are the three major things that would determine the amount of pigs you should start with. Now, why considering these three factors, also know that pigs multiply at a very fast rate. If you start with 10 this year, the next 1 year you might see yourself having over 50 pigs at your farm. So you have to factor in these three things I've mentioned: the amount of knowledge you have, the amount of resources you have, and the space you have. Now, what do I usually advise people when they ask me this question? As someone who has been in this pig farm business for a good number of years, I think I'm in a good position now to dish out some of these advices to you guys. Now, no matter the amount of money you have, one of the things that comes first, or what comes first, no matter the amount of money you have, is the knowledge. Either you get somebody who can manage the farm effectively for you, or you go for the knowledge yourself before you begin to invest into pigs. Because pigs can be a bit complicated and stressful, and also a bit overwhelming when you don't have the right knowledge. Yes, trust me, I've been doing this for a good number of years. I can tell you all these things categorically. It can be overwhelming, it can be stressful, it can be, it may not go as planned when you don't have the right knowledge. Because these are animals you are dealing with. You are dealing with living things. You are dealing with animals. So, first of all, you must understand the level of knowledge you have. Now, if you're just a beginner who probably doesn't have much experience, one thing I will tell you to do is start small. This is very, very important. Start small. I beg you in the name of God, start small. Trust me, even if you have millions of naira, millions of dollars that you want to invest, yes, start small. Later, after like 1 or 2 years, when you must have gained the experience, you can then invest all this money you want to invest. Why I say start small is so that you can learn the processes. In everything you are doing, in every investment you are making, it's always advised to start small. Go in with one leg, not with 2 legs, because you need a support. Now, if you want to start your pig farm as a beginner, what I would advise you to do is start with 10. That 10 can be 8 females and 2 males, or 7 females and 3 males. But if you have 2 good males, you just go for 8 females. Now, if you buy them as winners, because what I usually sell here on the farm is winners and growers. Mind you, if you want quality genetics of pigs, we currently have TN70s available at the farm for pickup. So we have TN winners and we have TN70 growers, and they are very, very affordable. So we have enough pigs to supply to you. Quality genetics. Please go for quality genetics. It's very, very important. Now back to what I was saying. Start with two males and 8 females. Now, when you buy them as either winners or growers, you simply feed them for like extra 4 months. In the next 4 months, or let's say 5 months, preferably 5 months, you feed them for 5 months, they will have attained maturity. And now you start crossing them. What I mean by crossing them is you start mating them. You start mating the male with the female. Now, when they carry their pregnancy for like 3 months, 3 weeks, approximately 4 months, within just 1 year, the 8 females will give birth. Let's say they gave birth to an average of 8, or let's say average of, if you have quality genetics of pigs, let's say 10 each. If the 8 gives birth to 10, that means you're talking about 80 pigs, which means your number have instantly gone from 10 pigs to 90 pigs, or even to 100. So you see, that's why I said it can be overwhelming. So you have to plan yourself well, because at that point you now have to feed almost times 10 of what you were feeding before. which is why I always tell you guys to start small, because pigs multiply at a very fast rate, at a rate that can easily overwhelm you if you did not plan yourself well. Now, within that first 1 year that you raised the initial 10, you gain the experience. You gain the required knowledge to be able to manage more. So start small. Pigs are not like cows that take years before they can multiply. Within 1 year, your animals have done 10 times the number you had before. So which is why you must start small to gain the experience. Now, if you decide to keep that 100, before you know it, within the next 1 year, your pigs are totaling almost 500. The question now becomes, can you feed them? The problem with pigs is not even about the numbers. The problem is, can you feed them? That's the problem, because pigs multiply very fast. You can have 10 pigs today. The next year, someone will come to your farm and see over 100 pigs. The person will be shocked. That is pigs for you. All they will now require for you is to feed them well. So that's basically it. Please, in all you are doing, start small. Even if you don't have enough capital, see if you can buy 5. 3 females, 2 males. But it's always advised that if you are starting with 10 or less than 10, try to have 2 males, because sometimes the one male might decide not to be able to, mate the females. So you need to have a backup option. So I keep advising this to everyone that comes to me. The best number of pigs to start with as a beginner is highest 10. But if you have the expertise, if you have the knowledge, or if you have somebody who is a pro at pig management, you can start with over 10. You can start with 20. You can start with 15. And in the next 1 year, your pigs will be totaling over 200. So plan yourself well, get your resources ready to feed these animals, and of course, make sure you have the required knowledge and make sure you have the required space, because the small space you have today, in the next 1 year, your pigs will definitely outgrow them. So plan yourself, make the required plannings, and of course, with these 3 things in place, you are definitely bound to go far in pig farming. So this is my candid advice to you all. So if you are looking for quality pigs, make sure you get these pigs from us. We are here to serve you guys, and we are here to make sure that you guys have quality genetics at your farm. Now, our pigs here on the farm give birth to at least, the least pigs that our pigs give birth to is 10. Now, there are some pigs you buy and they'll be giving birth to 6, 5. All these things are part of genetics we keep talking about. You must have the right genetics to be able to multiply your farm at a very fast rate. So that's why you need to buy pigs from Akonilo Farms.